Hi guys, I am that radio geek, but of course you knew that because it clicked on my name. Retro game collecting is expensive. I mean, usually I can get a game for about 20 bucks, give or take, on eBay if the cards are right and I know what I'm looking for. But, I mean, sometimes, just sometimes, look at the prices for some of these. Shadowrun for Super Nintendo going for 80 bucks just for a loose card, and that's average. Shadowrun for the Genesis, about the same. You can get it for about 100 bucks, give or take, with the case, probably not even with the manual. The absolute best price I found for Shining Force for the Sega Genesis is 60 bucks for a loose cart. No box, no manual, just the cartridge, 60 bucks. What? And on top of all that, unless you see the board, you're really not even sure if what you're buying is real or fake. So I came across this ad on the Zucker book a while back for something called Retro Game Treasure. They claim to have a hand-picked selection of retro games to send you every month, and they say that every game is fully tested and 100% authentic. So it's supposed to work like this. You check a bunch of boxes for the consoles you have and the kinds of games you play, then you put in any games you might already have so they don't send you duplicates. Then at the end of the month, they'll send you a box of games. So let's see how much it costs. $37 monthly? That's not terrible. If you're lucky, you can find 2 games on eBay for about that price. And these guys say on average they give you about 3 to 5 games. So I've set my preferences, the consoles I own, the games I already own, my wish list and all that. I've paid for my order, and now we wait.
3 weeks later.
Alright, so the box is here. Now before we open it up and see what we got, there's a couple things I want to explain. I've watched a few of these Retro Game Treasure unboxing videos from some of the YouTubers who are way bigger than I will ever be since I recorded the first part of this video. A lot of them go to pricecharting.com, they look up the actual monetary value of the games that they get in the box and try to compare it with what they paid for the box and see if it matches up, like down to the penny. I'm not going to do that. I have less than zero interest in any of these games as financial assets. I'm not going to resell them. I'm going to play them. So I'm not going to worry about, do these games match, or does the value of these games match what I paid for this box? No, I don't care. What I'm going to be judging is, did I get $42 worth of fun in this box, which is about what I paid, including shipping. Did I get that much money worth of fun in this box? So, without further ado, let's open up the box. So this is the inside. I'll take out the packaging here. It says a few tips. Here's a few tips. Post your treasure picks and earn extra entries in our boss chest giveaways. I don't know what that is. We guarantee your games arrive working. Just email us if you have any issues. Oh, I will. Stay retro. Buck. The Mega Buck. I wonder if anybody ever actually calls this guy the Mega Buck. Alright, so let's remove the bubble wrap. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see if any of these are any good. Okay, so the first game we've got Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. Aren't there like 8,000 different versions of Street Fighter 2? Yeah, this is the Special Champion Edition. I don't know what that means. I only ever played Street Fighter very briefly when I was a kid. I'm really bad at fighting games. I'm absolutely goddamn terrible at them. But yeah, I'll definitely try it. I'll play around with it. This is apparently the first Street Fighter game released for the Sega Genesis, and this version specifically is only available for the Sega Genesis. These are all the characters you can play. I chose Blanca because he looks cool. I have no idea what I'm doing. I turned the difficulty down to its easiest because I'm crap at fighting games, and I win a few rounds, but ultimately still end up getting my ass kicked. All right, so the second game I got, the label's totally screwed. I'm going to have to replace the label on this, and that's really disappointing. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Anyway, Miss Pac-Man for the Sega Genesis. I can't get over how bad that label is. Ms. Pac-Man was ported to the Sega Genesis in 1991, and it's about what you'd expect. There are a couple of options you can tweak, but the gameplay is the same. You navigate a maze, trying to avoid these colored blobs that are, for some reason, supposed to be ghosts, while munching on dots and the occasional fruit, and the big dots mean you can try to eat the ghosts for a few seconds. One thing I found weird with this port, and I cannot remember if this was in the original arcade version or not, but I doubt it. Once you clear a level, it just goes right back to the same level. You have to select a level from the main menu if you want to change it. I turned on Pack Boost just to see what it did, and yeah, it just makes you go faster. All in all, this really isn't a game I can see myself playing for more than 5 minutes at a time. And the third and what looks to be final game in the box, Mario Paint for the SNES. Now, I remember having a bunch of fun with this game as a kid, and I actually recently watched a couple of videos about the history of Mario Paint, and it even does come with a generic third-party Hyperkin mouse for it. And the one game that I would have the most fun with out of the entire box doesn't even work. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be using that email address. And I was ready to give them another chance. I was going to keep my subscription going for another month or two to maybe see if I got something better the next time around. But after that, no. Two games that I would barely have fun with and one that doesn't even work. I'm just not having it. So I'm going to email them, like the box said, and I'll post an update if they decide to right the situation. But for right now, I wouldn't hold my breath. Anyway, I'm that radio geek. Of course, you knew that because it clicked on my name. Like the video if you liked it. If not, dislike it. Hit the subscribe button if you want. Ring the notification bell if you want. Follow me on Twitch to see some retro game streams. There's a link down in the description for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you. What's up, guys? I'm that radio geek, but of course you knew that because you clicked on my name. So in my last video about Retro Game Treasure, which you can watch here if you haven't already, you might remember that I pulled a copy on Mario Paint that unfortunately didn't work. So I contacted them through the email address that they gave me on the box, and I said, hi, I recently got my first box from you guys, and among the games inside was Mario Paint. And after many attempts to get it working, it simply doesn't. As per the box's instructions, I'm emailing you to let you know and ask what we're going to do about this. They were actually pretty quick to respond, saying, thank you so much for the heads up on that. We got you. Was it a US or a Japanese copy? I responded, saying, I believe it was a US copy. I'll attach a photo. And I did. Not the best photo in the world, but my phone's a piece of shit that T-Mobile kind of forced on me. And I don't really have a camera, a real camera. Does anyone? Anyway, it took a day or so for another response, but they did finally respond saying, gotcha, thanks. We're out of town throughout the next week and then can get a replacement out to you. Sorry again for the issue. Yeah, so I thought they were pretty quick to respond. They wanted to fix the issue, make it right, or at least attempt to. So I figured I'd give them another chance. And, well, let's see what's in the box. Let's get the packing materials out of the way. Sega Genesis games. Ooh. Alright, looks like here's the replacement copy of Mario Paint. Let's see if this actually works. And it actually works. Spend some time here playing around with the mouse. Click on Mario here to get the game started. So I spent some time just playing around with the pen just to get a feel for it. Ultimately, I just erased all that, but the important thing here is it works. So one of the first things I did was play around with my favorite little bug swatting minigame, which took me a minute to get used to again, but I got used to it pretty quick and beat the boss of the first level. Then decided to play around real quick just with the music maker here. Of course, I never knew what I was doing here, but, you know, whatever. I didn't want to play around with it too much yet, because I want to get this video out. So let's take a look at the other games, shall we? Alright, we've got Eternal Champions for the Sega Genesis. I don't know much about this game, but I've heard good things. So let's check it out. Alright, so it turns out this is like a superhero fighting game. So I plugged in my 6-button controller, which is a cheap generic piece of crap, but it's functional for the most part. Anybody who knows me knows that I am notoriously bad at fighting games. So I'm not expecting to be good at this right at the get-go. But I jumped right into the fighting contest. And I picked Midnight because he looks cool. But you can just observe my lack of fighting game prowess here. Next up, Lion King for the Sega Genesis. I have memories of this game. Whether those are good memories or bad memories, well, let's just take a look, shall we? So it works, and I go ahead and I turn the difficulty down to easy because this is quite possibly one of the most difficult games ever made. First level ain't too bad, just takes a second to learn the controls. Trying to figure out how to attack when I realize I can just Mario these things. Some of these bugs increase your maximum health, some of them I have no idea what they do. And then you get the checkpoint here. And the boss of the level is just a hyena. All you gotta do is jump on his head. So yeah, the first level's not too bad, but the second level does not fuck around. You gotta roar at these monkeys to make them change directions so they fling you where you want to go. You gotta swing from these tails, which is super jank. I die a lot here. Right on this thing and avoid obstacles. The first time, it tells you where to go and when to jump and when to duck. The second time, not so much. And of course, I get a game over at the second level. Last up in the box, another brutal title, Mortal Kombat 2. This is the game with quite possibly the most cheap AI I have ever played. Let's check it out. This one actually took a while to get working. I thought I was going to have another Mario Paint situation on my hands, but I got it working. Went into the options to make sure it recognized the 6-button controller. Put the difficulty down to very easy because that is the only way I can play this game. And, of course, I choose Sub-Zero because he's my guy. I actually did fairly well here, but even on very easy, it's apparent that the AI knows what you're going to do before you even do, and reacts instantaneously, too fast even. I narrowly managed to beat myself, Johnny Cage, but ultimately, I got the shit kicked out of me by Liu Kang. Overall, this one was a pretty good box. Good games, and they all work. I did pick up a couple of other retro games off of eBay. Super Mario Kart, Super Mario All-Stars, and Super Mario World, but those are outside the scope of this video. I am streaming Super Mario All-Stars on Twitch on Mondays and Wednesdays right now, if you want to go follow me over there to watch that. But if you like this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Leave a comment down below, because that helps me out immensely, especially if you want me to continue with these retro game treasure unboxing videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see ya. What's up, everyone? I'm That Radio Geek, but of course you knew that because you clicked on my name. I recently picked up a copy of Quake 264 on eBay. Next week, I'm going to try to take a trip over to the retro gaming store a couple towns over, and I'm keeping my retro game treasure subscription going. Last month's box was a significant improvement over the first, even though I'm still shit at fighting games. And today, the new box came in. So, let's see what's inside. See what we got here. Let's get the packaging out of the way. More Genesis games. Ooh. Alright, so the first game we got going on here, companion to The Lion King, which we got last month. We have Aladdin, another notoriously difficult game. Let's check it out. Developed by Virgin Games and published by Sega, the game came out in 1993, and I say it's a comparison to The Lion King, because growing up, these are the two big Disney movies that I remember. Plus, on Steam and GOG, the Disney Classics collection has both games. The game boots up fine here, and I'm having fun throwing apples at bad guys, jumping on camels to have them spit on said bad guys, and then the game freezes. So I reset, and this happens. Reset again, you can see Aladdin for maybe a frame or two, and then he disappears again, and I'm actually able to free roam the camera. I wonder if this is some kind of glitch in the game. Anyway, I turn the power off and back on again.
Hello, IT? Have you tried turning it off and on again?
And it runs fine after that. So I'm going to chalk it up to a random fluke. Throw some more apples at more bad guys, platform my way through the first level. I get a bonus level, and didn't dawn on me what I was supposed to be doing until it was over. Now I'm in the desert trying to find a piece of the golden scarab, another fun level that I only had a little bit of difficulty with. Get to the between level bonus thing again, and this time I don't get anything. I do like this game. It's definitely a welcome addition to my collection. Alright, the second game, Mortal Kombat, which completes my Mortal Kombat trilogy collection. I've got 2, which they sent me last month, and I already had Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Looks like we've got yet another game that doesn't work. Kind of pissed about that one. Their website says, "We test every, and we mean every, game to make sure they're working before we send them out to you."
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
And the third game, Vector Man. I don't know much about this game. What is this? What is this on the cartridge here? This is going to have to be... It looks like sticker residue. Look at this. See if I get it. Look at this. Yeah, that's going to have to be cleaned up quite extensively. That looks like coom. That's... I don't like that. Developed by Blue Sky Software and published by Sega in 1995, at least this one works. I've heard good things about the game, but I've never actually played it myself. From the look of it, I'm going to have to practice and get used to it, but I do like the way the game looks. Definitely a game I'm going to have to get used to playing. One more broken game. One filthy cartridge. This is their strike too. Of course, I'll email them and we'll see what happens, but for now, let me hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you know when I post a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm That Radio Geek, but of course you knew that because it clicked on my name. In my last Retro Game Treasure unboxing video, which you can watch here, give or take, they gave me a copy of Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis, which, despite all of my best efforts, just straight up did not work. I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I just could not get it to work. I was pretty upset about it at the time, and it still kind of sucks, but I got in touch with them saying, "You've sent me another broken game. This time, Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis isn't working. Your website explicitly states, we test every, and we mean every game, to make sure they're working before we send them out to you, but this is the second broken game you've sent me." And it only took about an hour to get a response. "Hi, Mitch. Was there any damage to the outside treasure box by chance? We do test every game. Unfortunately, we can't control the mistreating boxes or getting thrown around in transit. As you know, though, we always take care of you when there is an issue like this. Thanks again." "The box seemed fine," I said, "and I didn't notice any damage on the cartridge shells either. The Vector Man cartridge shell was covered in something, but that's nothing Gugon can't fix. I'm going to keep trying to get Mortal Kombat working, and I'll update you if I can get it up and running within the week. In any event, I appreciate your quick response." So if nothing else, I will say this. Their customer service is on point. They're always pretty responsive and willing to make it right if there's an issue, so that's definitely a big, big plus in their name. I do have some additional thoughts on this that I'll share towards the end of the video, but for now, let's dive into the new box. Speaking of damaged boxes, this side here is all dinged up. This isn't their fault. This is fault of the post office entirely, but still doesn't give me hope. But let's open it up here. Good news is the packing material hasn't deflated. We've got a memory card for the N64. Very cool. I already have one, so I don't really need it, but it's still cool. You know, in case I ever need it, it's there. But let's get to the actual games here. More Sega Genesis. We've got Jungle Book. Label's on a little torn on the top there, but it's not a big issue. Tasmania for the Sega Genesis. I've actually never even... I didn't know this was a game. But, you know, I was big into Looney Tunes as a kid, so let's check it out. And finally, something not on the Sega Genesis. We've actually finally got an N64 game here. Lamborghini Automobile, or Automobile Lamborghini. Not sure how you're supposed to say that. But I dig the arcade racers, definitely, so let's check this one out. I'm excited. I've actually never played any of these games before, so these should be interesting. Let's check out Jungle Book. So the Jungle Book was a game developed by Eurocom Entertainment and published by Virgin Interactive in 1994 for the Sega Genesis and a handful of other platforms. I don't remember ever watching the movie, not that these old tie-in games ever had anything to do with the movie anyway. Sit through a bunch of logos that I probably could have skipped. Chapter 1, Jungle by Day. Mowgli begins his journey to find the Man Village. The Man Village. So it's like this platforming collectathon. You've got to collect a certain amount of gems, depending on the difficulty, to exit the level. And if you collect all of the gems, you get a bonus level. So you're running around, climbing and swinging on vines, collecting fruit, and I'm not sure what else. Kicking the shit out of these little animals who only want to be left alone. There's this thing. That's fun. Some of the platforming is a little on the janky side, but what do you expect from a game from 1994? Get the checkpoint here. Okay, I guess you're not supposed to go down that way. Restarted the checkpoint. Jumping would help. I finally get enough gems to finish the level. Find Bagheera. Who? I guess I should have watched the movie. A few lost lives later, and I finally find Bagheera, and I finish off the level with, what? 1 gem to go. Bullshit. Chapter 2, The Great Tree. Mowgli reaches the great tree where Kaa the snake awaits. Snakes are usually bad guys. I figure it's a bad guy. This one's got you going through trees. They've got scorpions. They're a pain in the butt. Bouncing on this thing is fun. It's not very productive, though. Takes me a while before I realize I can use these like elevators. Man, these scorpions really suck. But hey, at least I got the checkpoint. Got enough gems to finish the level, now I just gotta find Kaa. But before I do that, I gotta figure out how the hell I got stuck in this tree trunk, bouncing around. How do they expect me to see anything in here? Alright, here's Kaa. And yep, he's a bad guy.
Duh.
He's got this bullshit homing attack that's worse than the Vor's spiky missile thing. I have no idea how to avoid it. Bananas don't do shit to him, don't use those. Wasn't until the last life I remembered I could switch weapons. The boomerang does more damage. Right as I was about to take him out, he took me out. I don't want to do this whole level again. Fuck this boss. Overall, that's not a bad game. It's pretty fun. Next up, Tasmania. Tasmania, developed by Recreational Brainware and published by Sega in 1992 for the Genesis. Once long ago, Tasmania was ruled by giant prehistoric seabirds. They were so big that one of their giant eggs could feed a family of our ancestors for a year. Eggs? Cool! Arf! Whoa! There are even legends that there's a lost valley where the giant birds still live, eggs and all. But that's only a legend. Eggs. Arf. Uh-oh. This is one of the first things you want to do. When you see one of these things, eat it. It lets you breathe fire, which you need for killing some of the enemies. Stay away from the water. Don't even touch the sides of it. It'll hurt you. There's quicksand there. Don't fall in the quicksand. I tried to do a thing where I could spin and jump, but that didn't work. These things give you health. Eat them whenever you can. Get the checkpoint here. You gotta jump on top of this one. More quicksand. Don't fall in. I tried to jump that last one, missed it, overshot it, but hey, whatever works. You don't start each level with the fire breath. You have to find it. It doesn't carry over. There it is. This game has some of the most jank, infuriating bullshit platforming I've ever seen in a video game, and I've played and beat Castlevania 64 a number of times. I don't even want to tell you how long it took me to get up here. I'm ashamed of it. Don't eat the bombs, even accidentally. They take away half your health. Half your health. I get up here, and instead of going right where side-scrolling games usually want you to go, I go left and get an extra life. Fuck you, game. You can't tell me what to do. You're not my real dad. Remember what I told you about not eating bombs even accidentally? You land on them here, and if you land on them, you'll automatically eat them. It takes me a few times to manage to avoid the bombs, but finally finished with this level. Is it just me, or are all these levels looking really samey? Fuck you, bomb. the Green Hill Zone boss from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I know what to do here. There's an invincibility star right there, too. Invincibility in this game lasts longer than it should. And he's dead. Now, just when I thought these levels were looking really samey, they throw me into an Acme warehouse, grab the crate and move it over here so you can jump up onto the platform. Right on some conveyor belts, avoiding spinning fans and pistons, jumping on higher platforms, trying to get even farther. I feel like that should have killed me. If you even so much as walk by these things when they're open, you're going to get burned. Alright, at least that level was short. This level's bullshit. You've got to find and flip these switches to stop the conveyor belts so you can safely pass through. Don't get shot. Some of these switches I have no idea where they even are. And even sometimes when you do find a switch, this happens. It's bullshit. And of course I can't find a single checkpoint in the level. So every time I die, I have to start over from the beginning again. And ultimately, this is about where I end this game. And that one almost didn't work. It actually took a while for it to get up and running. Anyway, let's get to what I hope is the crown jewel of the collection, Lamborghini. Developed and published by Titus France for the N64 in 1997. The game's got 4 game modes. It's got arcade, championship, single, and time trials. I'm going to jump right into the arcade. Select my car, put in my name, and let's go. I'm not a car guy in the slightest bit, but there's something about these old arcade racers that's just really fun for me.
Checkpoint.
Helps if you don't slam into a wall like that.
Checkpoint.
First time ever playing this game, first race, I finished 3rd place. Not bad. I do a lot better in Mario Kart, but I'll take it.
Checkpoint.
One of the things I find funny about this game is it always tells you when somebody's right behind you. It always sounds like this.
Watch it, you've got one on your tail.
I was actually doing pretty good until I hit the side of that building there like an idiot. I couldn't quite recover from that one mistake, and I ended up finishing on fourth. This race wasn't particularly interesting. I was doing kind of terribly the entire time, and I actually ended up running out of time.
He's right behind us.
And that was my game over. So all three games ended up working. Fantastic. I love that. And I actually had a lot of fun with the games. Automobile Lamborghinis, awesome. I love arcade racers like that. I didn't expect to have as much fun with the Jungle Book as I did. Tasmania has some really janky platforming and some bullshit levels, but other than that, I like it. But did you notice something? They didn't send me a replacement copy for Mortal Kombat. Which brings me to a point, and it's something that I alluded to earlier on in the video. I said I had some thoughts I wanted to share. I do think there are a couple things that Retro Game Treasure could definitely do better, and they both kind of go hand in hand. I'd like it if I didn't have to wait until so late in the month to get the box, and this is for a couple of reasons, and they both have to do with whether or not I ever decide to cancel. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep making these videos for as long as you keep watching them. But the estimated delivery date on this box was October 1st. Now, luckily, it got here before that, but if it didn't, then by the time I got this box, they would have already charged me for the next one. Yes, they charge you at the beginning of the month and then ship the box at the end of the month. And the second reason being this. The first time I got a defective game from them was Mario Paint, and I had to wait until they sent the next box out to get a replacement copy. The second time I got a defective game, Mortal Kombat, I'm still waiting on a replacement copy. So what happens if they send me a defective game and I ultimately decide to cancel? I don't know whether or not I'll ever get a replacement. I feel like I have to pay again just to get the game I paid for in the first place. Anyway, these are just some things I've thought about while responding to your comments in the last video. I want to hear your thoughts on that or any of the games in this box down in the doobly-doo. Anyway, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. What's up, everybody? I'm That Radio Geek, but of course you knew that because you clicked on my name. All right, so this video is very late, and I'm really sorry about that. You can blame a combination of depression and physical illness for the delay. If you've been following this channel for a bit, you know that I've had some back and forths with Retro Game Treasure about some of their games that they sent me not working right. Usually they make it right, as was the case with Mario Paint. But a few months ago, in one of the boxes they sent me, there was a copy of Mortal Kombat that I just could not get to work. I told them about this, of course, and they promised to send a replacement. But when the next box came, there was nothing. Well, the box is here, and I'm not going to make you wait to tell you that there's no Mortal Kombat in here. Now, normally, I'd be pretty upset about this, but I actually ended up getting the game working after a lot of work. And the amount of things that came in this box sort of make up for it. Now, remember, the actual monetary value of these games doesn't mean anything to me. What I'm after is fun value and fun value alone. So I don't need to hear that these are only worth some dollar amount or another in the comments. Save it. But speaking of the comments, a couple of you have pointed me to another subscription service called Video Games Monthly. So I'll be subscribing to them soon and making videos on them soon as well. But for now, let's get into this month's box. All right, I've already opened the box and I've already taken out the packaging. But as you can see already, there's some really good stuff inside of here. We've got the 6-pack. The label's all messed up. But we've got the 6-pack. It's got Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. So as the name suggests, this 6-pack contains 6 of the Sega Genesis' most successful games. It was released in 1995. It's got Golden Axe, Sonic the Hedgehog, Columns, Revenge of Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Super Hang-On, with Golden Axe and Streets of Rage being 2 of my favorite games on the system. Going into each game individually would make this video really long, so I'm just going to go briefly into each one. Everybody and their mother at this point knows about Sonic the Hedgehog. Streets of Rage is a side-scrolling beat-em-up featuring 3 separate characters. Golden Axe is another side-scrolling beat-em-up with a fantasy theme, also featuring 3 separate characters, with 3 separate special moves for each character. Revenge of Shinobi is along those same lines. Super Hang-On is a motorcycle arcade racer game. And Columns is your typical Match 3 puzzle game. I probably wouldn't say this under any other circumstance, But if that was all that was in the box, that'd be fine, because that's 6 games by itself, and they're all pretty good. Next, we've got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer, and I absolutely love everything about this game. This is, in my opinion, quite possibly one of the best games on the N64 system. This is a great example of how good pre-Disney Star Wars games were, even if the movie was less than amazing. You start by picking your character, and then you go through a series of races, with each race being on a different world. And you can unlock new racers and earn money to upgrade your pod racer in between each race. Some of the courses can be pretty tricky to navigate, and your engines will take damage, but you can repair them, even though you will slow down significantly while doing so. So you definitely want to be careful with some of these courses, or you will crash. I very much love that game. It is one of my favorite Star Wars games ever, and in my opinion, one of the best games on the N64 system. Another great game in the box. Next up, we've got a boxed copy of Batman Forever for the Sega Genesis. Batman Forever is a perfect example of the crappy movie tie-in cash grab. I couldn't even bring myself to play this game for more than a few minutes because it's just awful. It is bad. So when you start the game, you can pick Batman or Robin. And the game kind of plays a bit like Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero, only somehow worse. There's all kinds of moves for you to memorize, but without a manual, I can only guess as to what I have to do. I get to a room where I have to use a grappling hook to get to the next floor, but I can't for the life of me figure out how to do it. I even tried looking up the controls to no avail. So yeah, this game sucks. This game sucks a lot. But best I can say is at least it works. So next time I'm able to make it out to my local retro gaming store, at least I can trade it in for something less terrible. And last, we've got a complete in-box copy of Taz in Escape from Mars for the Sega Genesis. This is the sequel to Tasmania, and it plays much the same way. In this one, you've been kidnapped by Marvin the Martian, and as the name of the game suggests, you've got to escape. Like I said, it plays much the same way as Tasmania. You're platforming through the levels, spin dashing into enemies, spin dashing up walls. This time there's big power-ups you can get. It's a pretty good time, and if you really just want to pick up a game and play, this is a good one. This is a really good one. The Taz games are games I wouldn't expect to be good, but I actually have a lot of fun with. If you ever see it out in the wild, pick it up. You're going to have a good time. So if you count the 6-pack as 6 games, this box technically came with a grand total of 9 games, one of which is just absolutely awful, but like I said, at least it works. All in all, not a bad box. Pretty good. It didn't come with a replacement copy of Mortal Kombat, but I did get that working after a lot of work. So at this point, that's a non-issue. Sometime soon, I will be subscribing to Video Games Monthly as well. So I'll be doing those videos. And at some point, I'm going to do a comparison between the two and see which one I like better. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry again that this was late, but you know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You guys know what to do. You're not new to YouTube, I assume. And if you want to see me stream these games and more on Twitch, follow me there. And I'll see you next time. What's up, guys? I'm That Radio Geek, but of course you knew that because you clicked on my name, and I'm here to tell you the saga has concluded. Let me explain. If you've been following this channel for the past few months, you'll know what this is about. So a few months ago in a Retro Game Treasure box, I got a copy of Mortal Kombat that I just could not get to work. So I contacted them about it, and they said they'd make it right. But the next box came in, and there was no Mortal Kombat. I emailed them again. They said there was a miscommunication, and the next box would have it. Well, the next box came, and while it had a lot of really good stuff, there was still no Mortal Kombat in the box. At that point, it wasn't really a big deal because I had managed to get the cartridge to work. But now, the new box is here. So if you watch me on Twitch regularly, which you should totally be doing, you may have seen the little preview that I gave on my stream the other day. But here it is. Here it is. Mortal Kombat. This is actually complete in box, too. Here we've got the registration card and some kind of ad for a soundtrack, I think. But then here's the game and the manual. So much to my delight, the game actually boots up, which is more than I could say for last time. So I sit here through these logos and it starts to go in through this explanation of what Mortal Kombat is, but then this happens. The game completely freezes, not even a minute into it. So I turned it off, I turned it back on, and I actually got it to play for a while. Of course, I picked Sub-Zero, he's my guy. It wasn't until after I finished recording that I realized that OBS wasn't picking up sound, but that's fine. I get through 3 matches, and then this happens. So they say they clean the cartridges before they send them out, but I gave it another cleaning anyway, and it was pretty filthy. So let's see if it works now. So the game boots up, doesn't freeze up this time. Thank you, finally. I've always been pretty bad at fighting games, but this one doesn't have the super cheap AI that 2 and 3 had. So I'm able to get a little bit further in this game than I am in those. Also for Genesis, Frogger, not a game I'd play for long periods of time, but still a fun little arcade game. Let's check it out, see if it works. So in Frogger, you're literally just trying to cross the road. You avoid traffic, you jump on these logs, you try to get to the other side. You do that 5 times and you get to the same level, which is exactly the same as the first, only faster. And you keep doing that until you either get a game over or get bored and quit. That's pretty much it. There's really nothing to this game. Last in the box, Extreme G for the N64. I've never played this one, but I've heard some good things, and I do enjoy a good arcade racer. So let's check it out. Wasn't really too sure what I was supposed to be doing here other than racing. So it takes a bit to learn the controls, which are kind of goofy. I still have a lot to learn, of course. It'll take me a while to learn the tracks and what each pickup does. But still, it's pretty fun for what it is. So I always say it's not about the monetary value of the games in these boxes, it's about the fun value. That said, I really don't feel like I've got my money's worth out of this box. Yeah, they finally sent me a replacement of Mortal Kombat, and yeah, it was complete in box, but at this point I feel like it was too little too late.
Too little? You said it was a good size.
They've already charged me for the next month's box because they give you almost no time to cancel for the next one once you get your box. But I feel like this next one might be the last. I might do some video games monthly boxes soon and hopefully get some better stuff out of those. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, let me know any and all thoughts in the comments down below. Follow me on Twitch for retro gaming streams. And of course, make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. What's up, guys? I'm that radio geek, but of course, you knew that because you clicked on my name. I wasn't going to do this video. I really didn't want to, and you'll find out why in a bit. This is my last retro game treasure box. I've canceled my subscription. I just don't think the cost is worth it, especially with the problems I've been having with them. Now, I know what's in this box. I've already opened this box, so it's not going to be a proper unboxing per se. But I'm still going to show you what's in there. I'm going to show you the best first. P2, the arcade game. I certainly remember playing this as a kid, although I cannot for the life of me remember if I enjoyed it, even if the movie it's based on is objectively the best in the series and arguably the last one that's worth watching. And I say this as someone who will flock to the next Terminator movie as soon as it's out, hoping I'll like it because that's the kind of idiot I am. So let's see if this is as good as I remember. Cyberdyne Systems 800 Series Model 101. System activated. 10 years ago, the machines of Skynet sent a Terminator from the future to kill Sarah Connor. They failed. Now, the machines will try again. Their new target, the future leader of the Resistance, Sarah Connor's young son, John Connor. As before, a lone warrior will be sent to protect him. The only question is, who will reach John first? So this is actually not the game I was thinking of. I remember playing a very different console version of Terminator 2 back in the day, but I have played the actual arcade cabinet of this. There's not really a whole lot to say about it. It's a light gun shooter, and that was really cool back then. I don't have a light gun, and even if I did, I don't have a CRT to be able to use it properly. But fortunately, moving the crosshair around with the D-pad is easier than you'd think it'd be. The whole game is pretty much this, just shooting a whole lot of Terminators, shooting down the projectiles before they can hit you in various stages. You have to avoid hitting the civilians, and then you just go back to shooting more Terminators. It's not too long before we reach our first boss, where you just have to shoot various parts of it in a specific order to take the whole thing down. But it's at this point you realize that the whole thing is really meant to be played with co-op. This would be a lot easier with 2 people. You know, one person shoots down the projectiles while the other one focuses on shooting whatever part needs to be shot. Second stage is a lot more of the same, but the Terminators have skin now. And then there's whatever these things are. I'm not sure what they are, but if you shoot them enough, they go back and eventually they'll explode. And this one doesn't even have a boss, it just ends. Back to the present or future. I'm not sure how time travel works in this. More of the same, except now you've got to protect these guys in this truck. And this is about where I end. Again, this would be a lot easier with more than one person. But here we are. The machines have succeeded. John Connor has perished. The resistance is defeated. Try again. Now that's fine. I, for one, welcome our new robot overlords. Like I said, this is not the game I was thinking of, but still, it's pretty decent. I do like it, and I'll probably put a bunch of time into it, especially since I don't have to keep pumping in quarters. Man, am I glad we got away from that practice. Next up, Jurassic Park. I vaguely remember playing this one as a kid, although, again, I don't remember anything about it. The movie was dope. So let's check it out. The T-Rex has demolished your car. The electric fences are down, and all the dinosaurs are loose on the island. Make your way through the jungle to the power station. So right off the bat, movement feels pretty bad. Platforming feels pretty bad. Attacking feels sorta kinda okay. If I had just killed this thing, why is it back again? I've never really been a big fan of respawning enemies that respawn for the sake of respawning, and it probably would have taken less space on the cartridge to just leave them gone. After some more annoying movement and platforming, progress through this jungle a little bit more, and fall from this branch that had no indication it was going to fall and didn't even give me time to react. That's amazing. So I make it back to that point. And try to land a little bit differently this time now that I know it's there. Feels like one of those things where if you don't know that's coming, you're just guaranteed to die. Go through a little bit more bad platforming and get struck with a random rock. Yeah, fuck this. Let's see if the raptor's any better. You have broken out of the raptor cage, and you are free to roam the island. You really are. And you have picked up the scent of Dr. Grant. As you stalk him through the jungle, beware of armed guards. This feels a little better. Movement still sucks, but jumping is better, and platforming is a little bit better. And it's not too long before I finish the first level here. You sense Grant is near. Make your way through the power station, but beware of electricity. I do appreciate the inclusion of floor chicken here, but it did take me an embarrassingly long time to realize that I could hold up on the D-pad and jump to do a high jump, which I suppose makes things easier. There's not really much else to this level, just continue platforming through the power station, taking out a bunch of dudes, but this guy does get me with what I imagine to be a stun gun of some sort. This is a very simplistic concept that really should work, but it just doesn't feel like a whole lot of care was put into it. The whole thing is just very slow and clunky. On to the third level. Raptors cannot swim. Avoid the water that floods the abandoned pump station as you pursue Grant. And this is about where I end because you're in these very small pipes that don't give you a lot of room to jump. And as a raptor, that's your strength. So I die pretty much right away. But then I die pretty much right away again, and there's my game over. And finally, we come to the reason I didn't want to do this video. This piece of shit right here. Dangerous Hunt 2. If Retro Game Treasure had my preferences, why would they send me this? Does anybody even like this game? I've never known anybody to have this in their top 10 favorite games of all time list, much less their top 100. It kind of feels like a slap to the face. I don't even want to sully my GameCube with this game, but I'm gonna because I like you. No memory card found in slot A. That's fine, I don't want it to save anyway. Start up a new game, rookie difficulty, because I just don't care. This is the second time I've had to tell it to continue without saving. There's a cutscene. There's a cutscene. Who is invested in the story of this game? Alright, fuck it, let's watch. Well, that's just a bad way to spot a fly.
How you doing, pal? I hope I wasn't disturbing you. This is a bad time. I'll come back later, but this...
Yeah, no, never mind the no trespassing signs right there. Come on in, I love strangers.
Folks around here just call me Old Hugh. It's a pleasure to meet you. I mean that, a real honor. Oh, yes, I know all about you. World-famous hunter, used to do some work for Wilderness Rescue, that group that travel around the world and defend folks from the world's most dangerous predators, right? Real heroes, all them folks, always willing to put their lives on the line, even in the face of certain danger. Tell you what, I've got some information I'm supposed to pass on to you, and nobody else. Urgent stuff, news about a good friend of yours and some folks who are in a terrible danger. But it's always been a dream of mine to hunt with a fella of your caliber. Maybe we can go shoot a few rounds and then I'll tell you everything you need to know. What do you say? How about you take me out and show me some of them skills of yours made you so famous around these parts?
So this guy has news for me regarding my friend who is in terrible danger, but he's not going to tell me unless I pal around with him for a few minutes. Alright, fine, whatever.
Well, come on, youngster. Think you can show a thing or two to Old Hugh, do you? Well, we'll just see about that.
Wasn't this guy just talking about how much of a legend I was? Follow Hugh to the target range. Use the control stick to move around the C stick to look. Alright, that's fine.
This here's bear country. Watch your step, young feller. Some of these suckers will rip your head off just as soon as look. Maybe we should try some target practice. In case some critter attacks, I want to be sure you know what you're doing. First, why don't you step back and let a real hunter show you how it's done? Watch and learn, Sonny. Watch and learn.
Isn't this guy supposed to respect me? Why is he talking down to me?
They used to call me Deadeye Andrew. Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. Nobody's ever called you that.
That might have been on account of my glass eye and not my sharpshooter. Here, why don't you give it a try? Hey, looky there. You found something.
C-stick aiming definitely feels way worse than any other GameCube first-person shooter I've played.
Look at the claws on that kid. Say, pal, I'm running a little low on ammo. Would say you take
Oh, now you want me to save your life.
care of him.
So the melee does nothing. I guess the guns don't feel terrible.
Ah! Not to worry, not to worry. That was my wooden leg. I'll be fine. Doggone it. You gotta watch out for traps.
You gotta watch out for traps. You're the one who got caught.
Stand back, Sonny. To shoot like that, partner.
Third time I've had to tell it to not save.
You done good, kid. That was some darn fine shooting. Guess now you're probably wanting that information I promised you, huh? I'm warning you, it ain't good news. It's about your old friend, your old hunting partner, Bill Lewis. What's that his wilderness rescue buddies nicknamed him? Oh yeah, Bullseye Bill. Well, Bullseye Bill's missing. Something went wrong on his last expedition and nobody's heard a word from him since. That's all I know. Overheard some fellas saying Wilderness Rescue is looking for you, because if Bullseye is missing, chances are whoever he was rescuing still needs saving.
Well, I should probably go find him then.
So, I guess that's it, eh? I'll have to figure out what happened to your friend, aren't you? Probably be too much to ask to help somebody a little closer to home, ain't it? See, that's the reason I came looking for you. My niece and nephew went camping not far from here, and now they're missing too. I could really use your help, pal.
Why didn't you just lead with that? Hey, your best friend is in terrible danger, but first, let's pal around. But first, I need help.
Pal, and keep a sharp eye. We got some rough terrain to cover, so we need to pack light. Come on, young feller. If anyone can get these kin of mine home in one piece, it's you. You hear that? Wolves running all over around here. I told that fool niece and nephew of mine not to come camping around here, but did they listen to old Hugh? No.
That's fine. They're probably dead.
This is sure giving me the creeps.
This is one of those really annoying games that has a cutscene every 30 seconds. Yeah, it sucks to be you, buddy. So now I guess I gotta go down here, swim through the river, and avoid the rocks for some reason. I don't feel like I'm going fast enough for them to do any damage to me, but the game feels otherwise. Battle of the River come this way. Nice to have any sort of indication that that was there. Now I guess we gotta go down here. Look at this falling speed. It's really slow. I'm not sure where else the game wants me to go, so... And the hunt has ended. You know what? I'm fine with that. Well, that was that. Like I said before, this is my last Retro Game Treasure video. I might subscribe to Video Games Monthly in the not-too-distant future just to check them out, but that depends on a number of things. In the meantime, let me know in the comments down below what kind of videos you'd like to see me do. If you want to watch me play old games live, follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/thatradiogeek. I look forward to reading your responses. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.